Sorry, I do not have a slideshow tonight. I ran out this morning beforehand, and I never got back to get it, so, but I am here. So, that being said, I'll start with, the meeting. This, no, there it is. All right. The new org chart, yep. All right. Oh, we'll start with our old meeting minutes. Okay. Everyone have a chance to review?
Yeah, and Don brought up a good point that we need to discuss, and that is identification of members by name that have submitted emails. Situation arose where in the minutes, a member was named and he had issues. So how transparent do we need to be with naming individuals when it comes to both that submit discussion items?
So that leads right into one of the enforcement issues that we were talking about, code enforcement. I think that's a great leading to it. We'll get to that. All right, we all have our opinions about that. We'll address that. Okay. Any other comments regarding the last minute?
Yes. The December minutes, Bill brought up that we held a little private meeting, the organizational meeting in the back afterwards. That needs to be noted in the minutes for Lisa.
I will amend that too.
Thanks, Bill.
Thanks, Bill. Right. So are we going to amend and bring it back, or we want to go ahead and include?
Just with the board's approval, I can amend the addition of our meeting after.
Someone good with that?
I'm good with that. I'll make the motion.
All right. Motion to approve the meeting minutes. With those citations? All right.
Was the voting issue for the court?
Yeah. One of the other things, this is one of the things we're going to talk about. With the tennis court, we read that they could be members, okay? You and I both read the documents, but they cannot be voting members according to this. And so we need to, as our documents currently stand, it can be amended down the road, so they can't get a vote current. And Bill brought that up to our attention. So, well, all the documents we were talking about, we're looking at our membership, and in another location. That's one of the problems with our documents, is that you have stuff scattered all over in different places. And so, at that time, during the meeting, we voted, they can be members, and they can have all the rights of a member, except according to one of the covenants, they can't vote. So, we can amend this down the road, but as it currently stands.
So has that been expressed to the tenants?
No, I mean, we just heard that.
Okay. So do we hold off on charging any,
The members.
but one of the stipulations from the tennis court was,
Currently, they don't have to go,
can we charge them a fee on the promise of getting a vote?
I don't think the vote is an issue. I don't think that's a major issue. The issue is they utilize our road, they utilize our gate, they want to have some clippers open up the gate and all that stuff, which they know we gotta buy. And so, the members, except for a vote, currently.
I would say, talking to Brian directly about that, he will push back. Or that was, in the conversation with me specifically, he was hoping to have a vote. His direct statement was, what was it? Taxation without representation was a good way to put it.
I believe I saw that in his response. something to that effect.
Yes, he did not have any problem joining the HOA. It was just he was wanting to at least have a conversation or a better understanding of why he would or would not be able to have a voting contribution. And,
I don't think the voting without representation, the taxation without representation is the real issue. I think that's the stumbling block that's present in the past. Bill, is that right?
I'm sorry.
In the past, the reason they were not considered members was because of the voting issue.
They always have been members, but they have not participated.
in my
Since
conversation,
2008.
my conversation with him, his understanding was when they bought the property, they were not members of the HOA.
This is a document that Mr. Shu executed to bring them into the association. (2008). Now, what it doesn't say is it good forever? But I'm not sure, that's up to the board.
Tennis owner desires to make property. Owner hereby submits and subjects the property above described, provisions, terms, covenants, conditions, restrictions, to do in that configuration. The same has been or may be amended from time to time for present permitted use with respect to swimming pool, tennis club, or other recreational facilities. And if such use or view of respective properties is terminated, owners of parcels of property shall be mandatory members of Shalimar Point Owners Association. As members of the association, the owners of parcels within the property shall be subject to provisions in that declaration. The same may be amended from time to time. In addition to the rights of membership in the association, be liable for payment of all dues and assessments imposed by, however, that no dues or assessments shall be due or payable prior to such time that the certificate of occupancy has been issued. I don't see anything in there, Bill, that says that they can't be charged.
Oh, no, I didn't imply that there was. That brings them into the association, but does not discuss the voting issue.
Traditionally, they have not been charged a fee. Do you have any background as to why that was?
Didn't really have the grounds to do it.
How do they not have the grounds?
So at the golf course, there's a use document we rely on, but they're not members. They don't pay dues, they pay a usage fee of 10%. When the previous owner of the complex started to divest himself of things like the pool and the tennis courts, they became separate entities, separated. This brings everything back, or at least brings the tennis court back in.
So we have a document that says that they can be charged dues,
That they're subject to the covenants.
but it also says they're subject to paying dues.
But the covenants say they will not be voting members. Nowhere does it say anything about dues that I'm aware of, and that's the problem.
So this does say that you're subject to all the dues and give us, that's right, correct.
Well, that's, the last part of that document addresses the situation where the property is no longer in a recreational status and becomes housing. And that says that the individuals that buy the parcels from the tennis courts are in and will be dues paying once the certificate of occupancy is issued.
I'm gonna just read this again and I'm gonna hand it off to, so we can copy it. It says, under membership in the association, owners of parcels of property shall be mandatory members of the Shalimar Point Owners Association. It also says,
That's parcels within the tennis court. That's if it's subdivided. two separate things there. One is, first half brings them in subject to the covenants. The second half addresses what happens if they develop and store in housing.
I don't read it that way. I hear what you're saying. That's not the way I read it.
We didn't write it, that was Mr. Hughes,
It-
the lawyer.
It does say owners of the parcels within the property shall, in addition to the rights of members of the association, be liable for, and we are receiving this parcel. And it says all dues and assessments imposed by said association on developed parcels. So I guess that's the question, is whether developed parcels or.
I think they can back, we just can't vote.
Okay. So the question is, do we hold charging them pending vote, pending clarification, or we proceed and plan to address this? Okay.
They would pay their first quarter.
Well, I believe that the documents show that they should be charged, they should be charged, and they should pay. Okay. Well, I think you bring that up, and
That's something we can discuss. They should have, do you agree? So we'll just tell them.
anything else from the previous meeting? The only other thing that we addressed was the organizational chart. The Welcome Committee and Social Committee remain under the Secretary, Mr. Metz. Election Oversight, Finance Committee, and Appeals Committee will remain under the Treasurer, Tom Yocum. Code Enforcement, Contract Management, Document Management will remain under the member at large, Mr. Tracy Stage. And then the IT Committee, Architectural Standards and Beautification under Vice President Mr. Peters. All right. Let's see. Streetlight reviews.
Okay, Skip Royster and myself have been working with the Florida Power and Light to go through all the lights and light poles that we have in our neighborhood, and the number is somewhere around 75. We went around, checked every tag. Skip went out in the dark to check which ones worked and didn't work. We gave all this information to Florida Power and Light. They matched it with their record. And so we were doing a cross-reference on that. We have fiberglass poles, wood poles, and concrete poles. There's some lights that are on the golf course that are on our bill. And so we'll have to tell the golf course about that. I think it's one out here, probably not on because it's dark. And a couple by the maintenance shed. Right, Skip? Yeah. So here's the bottom line. Right now, we are paying right at $1,098 a month for our lights. They will.
1,200.
What's that?
1,200-ish.
Oh, but that's count the other account.
Yes.
Yeah, just the lights alone is $1,098. Okay, if we want to upgrade all the lights to LED lights, and we specifically requested soft lights, not bright LED lights, that would reduce our bill to $984 a month. Okay, if we just let them in, they pay for all the lights, they install them, and our bill goes down by $100. Now, here's the catch. All the fiberglass poles that we have in here are rated for 25-year poles. And what'd you say they are, 34 years old? 34,
No,
yeah.
they were all replaced about 10 years ago.
Oh, really?
Not according to the tags on the
I
bill.
guess water, power, and light.
The request was that they be repainted, and they sent a team out here and looked at all the poles, and they replaced a great number of them, and they were supposed to do the entire neighborhood.
But according to Water Power and Light, they haven't been replaced. All the tags on them say 92. And they say the life expectancy of that fiberglass pole is 25 years.
Okay, wait, can you come on
Okay, whether they're new, old, replaced, or whatever, a lot of them are in bad shape. We looked at a bunch of them, we looked at every single one of them. We have an option, if we want to do the lights and the poles at the same time, they want to charge us for that. So that would end up taking our bill to $1,600 a month, for just the street lights, and there's like 75 street lights. So that's if you want to do the poles. If you don't want to do the poles, you just do the lights, it'll reduce our bill by $100. And so that's one of the things before us now. So we've gone through all that, we know where they all are, there's some that have no tags, we've identified those through Florida Power and Light, and it's pretty cut and dry, that if we just made a motion to change out the lights to LEDs, that drops our bill $100, and we have all brand new lights throughout the facility, the whole complex.
So the 1,600, is that 1,600 for a year, 1,600?
A month, a month,
A month, but is it a 1-year lease, is it a 3-year?
no, it's
Every month?
for, yeah. So you, that's how they're recouping their costs. But they'll replace all the poles if you go with the 1,600. So, I don't know what anybody wanted to do on that, but I thought the lights would be a reasonable start.
Well, also, they can't replace the lights that are there, so if the light goes out, it stays out. They can't replace them. There's no, they're antiquated,
They don't have any more.
more parts.
Okay, so that light dies, it's dead. And you found some that were dead when we went around. So, yeah.
So Skip, what I'm trying to ask is, anytime you upgrade something, there's a charge for upgrade. I'm a little surprised they're gonna charge you more for putting in new poles. Other than perhaps it's a temporary fee, but it's not.
It's not. So what it is that you're gonna be burning less electricity with the LEDs, and that's the reason why the power is able, the cost is down $100 a month. The poles are the poles, you can't, there's no electricity for them, so the only thing we're doing is, if we replace them, is giving us more longevity for the poles.
So
And if
there's,
the pole goes down, if somebody runs into it, or if it fails and falls down, then they're gonna replace it, but they're gonna replace it with another pole, and then they'll start charging that for that new upgraded price.
I mean, this is I'm not sure what the hitch in this is. There's gotta be a hitch, because why wouldn't you upgrade to a less expensive light source?
I think your comment is, the power charge is going to go down.
Right.
They're still charging us for the fixtures.
If we put the fixtures in and paid for them, the power bill would probably be cut in half. So you are paying for those things. It's just like when you buy a water heater through the gas company, and they give you $1,000 a month gas bill, you're paying for the water. That's how it's getting paid for, or whatever the number is, $1,000 probably.
So there's no contract requirement on length?
No.
We have to keep the agreement?
No.
Other than they're the only ones right now.
Right, yeah, they got a monopoly. So, we got an option. We got an option here in front of us. Do we go for the lights, which is almost a no-brainer, you're gonna save money, or do we go for lights and poles, cost you a little more, but the entire place gets a facelift, everybody gets standardized across the whole complex, and then a nice clean look.
We've got
But some of them-
7 to 10 lights that are out.
What
You're
hap-
saying they can't get replaced.
What happens if somebody does hit one of these lights, it's taken out? Is it replaced with a newer pole, or is it replaced with a old pole?
No, whatever they have in stock at the time.
It's just a
Charge you more
random.
for that?
Yeah, that's what Skip was saying. If it gets knocked out.
So they replace it with a new pole and they don't charge you more for it, or they do charge you more?
Say that again, Sam.
If somebody hits the pole, Florida Power and Light
They'll
comes
put a new
up.
pole in, but at that point, they'll charge us for the pole, and they'll install the light back on there, if the light's not damaged. Main thing is that the poles cost them, they got a certain fee. They're coming in and installing them, taking the old ones out, they're putting the new lights on. Again, the purpose is that if it goes LED, it's burning less power.
And I know some of the poles, as we went and looked around, they have moss growing on the sides of them, and some of them are really ratty looking. But they're functional, they're holding up the light.
What's the difference between soft light and bright light?
Aesthetic.
Do you want a gentle, I would say, light that you can actually look at, or do you want a baseball, football stadium in your front yard where the lights?
So,
As long as from the safety, soft light, still.
it's still bright, yeah. It's still bright. Okay, so, I don't know how you want to proceed. We make a motion that we at least replace the lights. But we can have a motion to replace the poles and lights. It's $500 a
Is
month.
there a liability having old poles like that, if one fell over?
Well, they're fiberglass, chance of them just falling over is slim. Yeah, but a good example, across the street from right by Richard's house.
Yeah.
He's got one, the whole bottom is wallered out. I mean, that thing you could just push, you know, if you wanted to push it over. A good wind's gonna knock it over.
That's why I had the concrete put around it to stabilize
You
it.
keep weed eating under it, that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's a good point. No, it's just kidding. But anyway, so if you think about it, we're at almost $1,100, so it's $500 a month more.
Another $6,000 a year.
Yeah, $6,000, and you got all new poles, all new LED lights, you got a standard look, it looks good for the community. I put it in the no-brainer category.
I make a motion to go with the lights and the poles. Strictly for.
So we're paying more basically for uniformity, it's a brand new.
Well,
All new, all new.
all lights, all standardization, a nice, fresh upgrade to the community.
Is there any warranty on the poles? We'll just say next year, Ricky, wind, strong winds takes down half a dozen poles or however many poles.
They put them back, they put them back. Yeah, and the good news is, you'll have the newer poles, so they'll have those in inventory to put back. As it is today, they don't have.
Hey, Pete,
Yeah.
you got my numbers up there, how many fiberglass poles were there? 75?
No, wasn't 75, that was the total.
70 streetlights, one aluminum pole.
So if you take that money and divide it by 73 or whatever it is, that's gonna pretty much tell you what those poles cost.
But what you're saying is that this is a permanent increase in the fee, then all you're doing is you're leasing the pole,
That's all we're doing.
and,
Florida Power and Light, or Go Power at the time, installed them, and all we're doing basically is paying for the electricity.
no, we're paying, under one case, we're paying for the electricity, because we own the poles. In the other case, we're paying for the electricity and leasing the poles.
No, they own the poles. All
But we're leasing them from them because we're being charged $600 a month more.
Well, it's because you're getting new poles.
But we're all, back to your point, and I think this is where you're getting at. Right now, we are already leasing poles that are over 30 plus years old. So it's just a matter of, we're starting a new lease for new poles that are now gonna, again, be at the same cost for the next 30 years.
So this is essentially an unplanned increase. How much is that sort of like?
Well,
$600, $6,000 a year.
it's, if we go to, well, depends. So there, when we were doing our budget calculations and everything else, the assumptions, one of the assumptions that we had was for, legal expenses. So it's, right now, so last year, we were assuming that we're gonna use 15,000 when we finished off the year. We finished off the year at 10, so we're actually $5,000 under from for 2025, what we're projecting is for unforeseen circumstances. This, I would say, would be covered. Yes, it's not going to be in the electrical budget, but between your general repairs, our general repairs, and $6,000 in that budget, that we already are projecting for this next year.
It's January. So, yes, sir.
Could you, I don't know if this question came up, Pete, could you go with the bulbs this year, save $100 a month for a year, put the new poles in next year's
Hey,
budget?
Skip, the question is a good question. Can we split this up? Can we go upgrade the electricity to the newer bulbs now and next year
But,
do the upgrade or no?
but the issue is that will save us $1,200 for the year.
Right.
But then starting next year, you're still gonna be paying $6,000 additional a year.
Then you gotta have.
I understand.
Redo everything again.
If we're leasing the existing poles and
You
they're
say
in
that
bad
was
shape,
budget
why don't they
for it.
come out and replace them? We're already paying for that.
They're not, they're standing up, they kind of want to call and do it.
Okay.
So.
Sam, I didn't ask them now, whether we can do the lights one year and then come back to the poles.
We thought about that, but then you've got folks that are in here working all through, trucks coming and doing all that, and then you bring them back and do it again for $1,200.
The quote you have for the poles, are those for nice architectural like poles at the community, or are they the most like your basic street lights?
Are they ugly poles? That's what he's asking. I think they're fiberglass poles. We don't have a picture of the pole.
The poles, any idea what they look like?
Yes, sir. There's none in there. They're colonial looking.
Okay, so they're cosmetic. They're cosmetic.
Yeah, they're good look.
Okay, I'll make sure they're not.
So describe this here, do you have enough information to make a vote now? Do you have enough information to make a vote now, or do you want anything?
He made a motion.
All right, okay, so I'll second his motion, vote that, hopefully you guys have enough, I have no problem going vote.
So the motion is for the poles and the lights, one time.
How will we put it in the budget?
Well, like we were just talking about. Well, we got an extra 4,000 from the tennis court. Okay, he's talking to Sid, we got an extra 4 already. And then with the savings on the legal so far, we're in good shape. Plus, we upped the budget by, what, a couple thousand?
Essentially, the funds are gonna have to move. The fact that you budgeted things, but the budget is what we're planning for, it's not to offset something else.
So,
Your point is,
nobody
you offset it.
that has a light not working can get it replaced because it's old technology.
They don't have, yeah, they currently don't have those. And we know they've been,
The fixture or just the bulb?
it's the bulb.
They're not-
It's old stuff.
The bulb burns out, they don't have.
No, some of those old ones,
Well,
it's
maybe
pretty
push
good
the
stuff.
bulb in and fixture. Remember when the doctor's tree hit? You and I were out the street with chainsaws? And the whole top of that fixture was knocked off. They replaced the fixture and the bulb.
Yeah, but they had it back then.
Yeah, they came out and replaced the bulb of mine, the guy on the truck told me that was the last bulb they had.
Yeah.
They're not making it.
So we got a motion, we got a second,
Probably got it, John.
and go for a vote.
You just gotta come up with two grades somewhere in the budget.
He's got it. Okay, all those in favor? Okay. I think that's it. All right, thanks, Skip, appreciate all the help.
What's the timeline on that, Skip?
I couldn't tell you.
We'll get an answer.
I've been waiting 6 months on some of mine.
I think the overwhelming feeling is it's good for the community because it will be standard and because there's a lot of poles that are out. So overall, it's a good thing. The question is, get on the plan. And I apologize for a lengthy discussion about that. I think we're understanding. New business, code enforcement. Code enforcement, something that we discussed in passing, and we feel strongly that this is something that we need to get back to. I think the discussion about last month, a community member bringing up being singled out was a great example of this. We have not been doing code enforcement now for most of the past year.
Let's not say that. What we've done is we've individually gone over, talked to
I agree.
people doing infractions, so it hasn't been formalized.
No, my point is, we have not been formally doing like letters. We spoke to people and tried to address it at the lowest possible level. And we've been very satisfied with people doing so. The real question is singling people out, right? At least that's the first thing.
Yeah, we can talk about the address and say, here's what's going on, let's look to fix it.
So I guess the question is what is the right process for doing this? And I think that we are really here at a point to try to do it. So,
I think we talked to them first.
no, I agree. So we talked to them first, we have somebody discuss with them, we talked about what the covenants and bylaws are. And then we also talk amongst ourselves and be satisfied that we have a appropriate response. If we don't, then we ratchet it up.
Right, we had somebody parking in the yard, and then periodically we go by and make sure they're not parking in the yard anymore. And so after a while, we go, okay.
And we've also had the basketball group. And so we've had a number of issues that we've addressed. And so our goal is really to try and handle that at the lowest possible level. But ultimately, the bylaws do give us a pretty clear step-by-step way to address this, even up to the point of leveraging fees if people are not compliant. That's the place we really don't want. Right? Okay. And under the current, where's our, this is going to fall under member laws, right? Okay. Okay. All right. My goal is really, as hard as it is at 7:30 already, to try and keep things short. I'm going to move on and say, Mr. Vice President, do you have any?
Yeah. I'm just gonna go through a list here, some of these. Some of you may have noticed it was reported that the gate wasn't working. Actually, it was December 24th and 25th. If you were trying to get in and couldn't, there is a reflector that when the fog comes in, it fogs up the reflector. So if you get out and go wipe that reflector, then it'll work. But we can fix that. And I talked to the folks that maintain the gate, and they have a heated reflector that will heat up and not get moisture on it, and you can do that. I haven't got a price on that yet. That was a 3-day thing. But yeah, I went up there and wiped it off and it started working. So if it doesn't work and it's foggy out, you'll know why. And it's not somebody trying to purposely lock you out. Just want to let you know that we're watching that, and they're going to get back to me on what that cost is. Who knows what they do. We had a report on 2910 Shalimar Lane. We had a resident that was in need of an ambulance. Ambulance could not get down the street to his house because of the cars that were parked on the street. 2910. 2910 is a rental, and so This is one where if we don't get satisfaction from the rental, we'll have to go to the owner and say, listen, this can't continue, and go from there. So, Tracy, if we want to keep that on your list. Let me see. I've had a report from East Lake Drive, 804, that the landscaping needs major cleanup. Sprinklers appear not to be working, gutters are overflowing. This is all from a neighbor. And let's see, 915 Masters is another one we'll have to take a look at. But anyway, those are some of the things that have popped up in the last month.
No one lives in East Lake. That house
Oh,
you're
they
talking
own
about.
it.
They own it, they live in Crestview, but they are never
They're never
there,
here.
ever,
They don't know.
ever.
So that might be one that we have to send it out to. So, okay, thank you.
So those three properties, one out of house.
Please, keep an eye on
Yeah, if you could just send me the list or how you get the complaints.
it. Okay. Sounds good. Okay.
I mean, if that's what you guys want, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, if it's a renter, I've gone to the renters and I'm not sure they speak English, but I talked to them once because they had an oven or a washing machine sitting outside for like a month or so. And they moved it after I asked them to move it. So, yeah, I'll send you. All right. That's all I got.
Treasurer's report.
Couple things for the treasurer's report. If we would have had slides, we would have all of our budgetary and spending items to review. Anybody would like to come up and take a look, you are more than welcome. Otherwise, they will be included in the minutes following the meeting. Quick couple of highlights. Actual expenditures through the end of 2025. My estimate was high because of legal expenses that were not used and administrative expenses for mailing voting issues that were not used because we did not have the vote. So, nice. Actual expenses came just under 142 grand, where the budget was 146.5. So, several grand under, so that's always a nice thing. You keep up that same level of spending, we'll easily be able to pay for our light fixtures. Balances for checking account, currently 61.5-ish. Money market accounts, a little over 64 grand. CDs, our 8 CDs expiring or starting to expire February 26th through August 26th. So we'll want to relook at those.
What's the total on the CDs now?
Total on the CDs, current amount, $414,725. That then leads into a couple other items. 2026 Q1 assessments, all due 1 January 26. Everything was sent out following the December meeting on December 20th for electronic statements and paper statements for those that were needed. We currently have 59 of 198 still outstanding for members still owing dues, expected hopefully by the end of the month, which puts, after today, 54 members under 30 days overdue, and we do have four accounts over 90 days. As discussed, Shalimar Point Tennis Club, they have, their first assessment has been received. One note I do need from the board, I need one board member and 2 community members to complete the 2025 annual audit. I have all documents ready, everything's ready to go, just need a date and time to meet so that we can complete that over the next month.
So you give them, the windows 30 days.
I want to say it's before February, I'm sure before March 1st, off the top of my head, I can't remember, but it's ready at any time. We can complete this tomorrow, weekend, before the next meeting. Myself, Pete, Brenda, I believe, and Clark Reed. So it's just a matter of 2 homeowners, 1 additional board member, and myself. Any volunteers, any thoughts on a date?
I'm gonna even take them.
Awesome. Just any volunteers from anyone in the room? 1.
Let's nominate somebody that's not.
Oh. Any suggestions on a date? Whether it be Saturday, Sunday, next weekend, certainly works. I just see people looking back. I know you see it now.
He's not here, not looking.
So just get with them.
Tomorrow.
Can you do it tomorrow?
Sure.
Yeah.
Tomorrow?
Yeah. What time?
You tell me. 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock here?
Sure.
Okay.
Works.
I'm thinking, just a second. Wednesday, 4 o'clock? How long you anticipate?
Last time, hour and 20. And it's just depends on what questions come up.
Should be fine.
Too easy. Next question. Purchase of another CD, depending on how much we do it. Historically, been increments of 50K-ish. Really, the question goes into what do we want for minimum balances for operating versus and money market accounts for new CDs. Current operating account budget, or I should say operating account balance, 60 grand. Current money market, 64. By the time if I do the capital expense money market changeover for 26, it turns into money market of 84 grand, current balance, let's say 40 grand in operating account.
When is it?
The next sets of CDs, tail end of February, let's say 28 February.
And what we need in the minutes is all the board members so you can get us on your signature.
Getting that, and I've got forms for whoever wants to fill out so we can start that as well.
Sat down, looked at what the rates were.
You get time to shop around.
So I think we need to do a little shopping.
Already started to do a little bit of shopping with where we are. The bank that we're using right now has pretty much the highest advertised rates. So chances are everyone else is anywhere from 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5 with the current, United Fidelity Bank. They're advertised at anywhere from 4 to 4.1. Do we have any suggestions or thoughts for minimum balances to maintain in operating accounts and money market accounts? Right now, we have 80 grand in money market account. You take out 50 for another CD, that drops you down to 30.
And you got, say, 60 in the checking.
Right now, because it in 60-ish.
So you're at 100. So, yeah. That's correct.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, sir.
it's gonna go into another question. And right now, not an issue. Shouldn't be an issue. I would say taking out your 50 grand for another CD, not an issue.
Are we talking about rolling these over, or are we talking about purchasing them?
Both. You have existing CDs that are already anywhere, 8 of them maturing here at the end of February, all the way through the end of August 26th. Their current rates, 4.25 to 4.74. New CDs, if you were to roll them over at the same bank, going to be somewhere around 4.05, 4.15. So we're losing about a 0.5% interest with the interest rates.
What's the penalty for early termination?
Why do we want to purchase it? Why do we want to purchase it?
We have a high dollar value sitting in a money market
How
account.
much you making on money market?
Depending on who you ask and when. Last statements, it's been going down. It was 12/12, it was 3.25. And then 11/30, it was 3.5. So it's gone down a 0.5% in 2 weeks from December. What it is right now in middle of January, I don't know. When I talk, to the bank that, to our, FNBT, they were saying 2 to 2.5 for money market. So rates are dropping significantly.
So it's just one and a half to go
Mhm.
So you're suggesting that you're finding out is that the only issue is the footing, right?
Correct. Right now, with most of our CDs, they expire, they're usually anywhere from 12 to 18 months. And right now, most of them, every 2-3 months, 1 or 2 expires.
I see no problem with the rolling them over. That's not an issue, question whether or not.
Well, we can automatic roll money market, but if you want to get better rate, you need to see what you know that is. Well, you're still sitting there with 80 grand, there's 80 or 90 in cash that we can do.
Right now, yes.
Yeah. Question?
Are all of these funds at the same institution, or do you have them spread out?
Currently,
Because they're only FDIC insured up to $250,000 per entity, per institution. So would it be smart or safe to split some of that over to a different institution? So that you only have a maximum of $250,000 deposited at one institution, so that it's fully, or it can give you a little, like, so that it's fully insured. When you're
possible,
rolling
yes.
these over,
Oh,
this
no,
might be the-
absolutely. Right now, we currently have 8 CDs. They are all at the same bank.
This is actually, as soon as you say it, it's exactly what the previous board debated last time. It's much easier to have them on.
It is, yeah.
But it's worth looking at. You do half here, half there, that's your risk.
So, are we agreed that we're gonna take another 50? That's what.
Well, he's got till the end of February, so we'll have a February meeting. He's got.
I mean, I think it's a good idea. We don't need all that cash.
Right. We still got cash. I don't know if he's asking.
Right now, asking for suggestions, thoughts, nothing's needed for motion at this time.
So the questions that were raised, it's reasonable to consider diversifying to 2 different institutions.
Mhm.
I think it's very safely, group 2, the other issue is about, do you not feel comfortable with, going out of money market for,
So Don, look into where to get the most bang for the buck.
The most, but I was just gonna say, the most bang for the buck is gonna be for the CDs. It's just what expenditures we have coming up. Right now, small value light poles. At some reasonable point in time in the very near future, road paving.
Let me ask
Is that going to be within the next 6 months? Probably.
The
But
number that you have in the account right now, we're talking, you got 60 plus right in the money market. Is that including everything that's owed to you for this year?
between,
Or is just what you have on hand today?
right now, what I have on hand, this is paying through, this is all through December. So this does not include, so it's at the end of December, between money market and checking account, we'll just say, 150 grand in the bank. What was paid out for January, that's typically, we'll say 30 grand a quarter, between
10 grand a month?
ish, but your big chunks are gonna be from, this month was high because of insurance, for January, insurance, PSP payment, that's 25 grand.
The question I'm getting at is, your projected income for 2026 is not in your current numbers.
Everything right here in front of me is all from 2025.
No, what he's saying, it says cash on hand, it's not including expected income.
Correct.
So you're expecting 140,000?
159.
Okay. So that's what I'm getting at. You still got a ton of money coming in.
Yes.
So the 50 going to another CD is no way.
Now it's just a matter of keeping it in the same bank, different banks. Is the offset of the higher interest rate worth it? Software request, none for December. Electronic banking, no, Mike and I are still figuring that one out.
What was your response to the electronic statements that
What do you mean?
you sent out electronic statements?
Correct?
Did you have a relative good response to that? Did you have a relative poor response? Any idea, any initial feedback from that versus the too early to tell is okay?
These electronic statements are very similar to what has been going out for the last, say, 2 years, at least. The only difference is wording, format, desktop version of QuickBooks versus online version of QuickBooks.
Fair enough.
I think most everybody gets them. There's probably maybe 15 to 20 people without email addresses, but otherwise those are mailed out. Even ones that from previous records identified paper only, still mail those out begrudgingly. But this also goes into other things. The online payments, 3% charge to do it. So something to keep in mind for those that still want to do it. I'm all for it, but that makes it easier, but there is that additional charge. Convenience is not free. Assessment discount request. One item that I was thinking about was also addressed during this last month, was asked, is it possible for members that pay full annual assessment upfront in January, is it worth a credit or discount? Short version, if we had a money market account that made 3% interest, everybody had their assessment in, or an individual that had their assessment in so that I could make the deposit prior to end of January, we would make about $15 in interest versus a $15 discount. That would be a break-even point. If we're going down to 2% interest, we're losing funds, but I'm gaining convenience.
So don't offer the discount.
Unfortunately, probably not. And then if they are paying that full annual fee online via Stripe, they're paying for their $15 that they would have gotten, or $10 there.
I think the real question is, if you're paying for convenience, you pay a little bit more for convenience. Or you just break out a check and save yourself the money. Because it's so easy to drop it into a box or to give it to you. I mean, so I think that's a separate discussion to have,
Mhm.
but I appreciate bringing it up because it's certainly not insignificant. So, we're not asking for a vote on it, are we?
After hearing, before my phone calls today about interest rates, if we were still getting a 3.5 interest rate on our money market, I would have said, yes, worthwhile. If we are going to be getting 2% interest on a money market, not worthwhile.
Yes.
We don't want to get into people prepaying, because then we have to set a deferred revenue schedule so that all of our taxes and accounting and money and stuff is done correctly. Like people prepaying up front for the year, I wouldn't even go down that road. Is that what you're saying?
People already
Prepay and they prepay every year.
For
They
a
through the year.
discount, for a discount,
Mhm.
yeah.
No,
Good.
not for a discount.
Not for a discount.
Correct.
Right,
Right now,
okay,
not
yeah,
for
yeah,
discount.
yeah, yeah. Just to do it, yeah.
Yeah,
Just to get done.
yes.
Right.
I don't think we want
And that's where right now, I don't think it's worth the bang for the buck for the discount. That's my recommendation. I don't know if anybody else has any questions. What else? I don't know if we wanted to talk about members with the outstanding assessment accounts. This is for the 4, 5.
I like that. I don't think we do this, because that's exactly what we're supposed to do. So I think before we start putting this, anything like this, public, we've got to make sure that we talk to them and
I know you've got a two there.
It's not your clothes,
Is the yards will be a mess, and we were just in and then we never know about it, there's nothing on the communications.
So, where we, I mean, I think,
Do you want that posted? Do you want that included, or is there anything worth discussing?
so to answer your question, I do want the first, but I think that we get there by a process. And I think that that process has to include that these people or their entities have been spoken to, have been mailed.
They
You've done it,
mail all statements. The next steps of, for 2 of them, it's just delinquent in the last year, and it's one excessive one that is now taken over.
So we need to vote on,
No, we don't want this
claim
to
on
be
their
shut
state.
down, not yet. We're discussing that process, because at some point, I want this to be,
We gotta talk about it.
yeah, we gotta talk to them all, but you've been sending email, you've been sending letters. So the real question is, do we know if those letters are being received, and do we have a response?
For several that I've sent, I've just started getting not delivered.
So the next meeting is in like 3 weeks now, so maybe I'll have to look at it, so what responses are good. And anybody can add it.
And to answer that, what I would say is, follow the threshold, guys. We've identified it, we've identified it. We've identified that they've gotten the notification, they're aware of the responsibility. And then we would potentially
we'll have to meet and add that.
And then my last comment, continuing education, just open discussion that we had, new member dates. Terry, I didn't know if you wanted to see those free meetings from the state that you would,
After 10.
4 hours, not too bad. For the rest of us, it's just a matter of, do we want to schedule something, or do we want to pay for a mass meeting or a mass delivery? $50. They give you a slideshow, and then they process it. You have to go through and review the slides. State of Florida does a Teams meeting, and they present whatever topic for an hour to 2 hours. And you'd have to do 4 hours worth of continuing education over the next year.
So that's a separate process for 4 hours. And my question is,
The initial meeting, or for those of us that are already on the board, we still have that additional 4 hours.
I guess my question is really, is it worthwhile to try and get us all to the same place in town?
I was throwing this information out. I agree with you. Just want to make sure everyone's on the same page.
Otherwise,
That's all that I got.
Probably have it running in the background.
That's pretty much all I can do. Yeah, the slideshow that they do provide for the 4 hour one, it's actually very good. I got it. You can actually download it. Otherwise, that's all I got, sir.
Okay, so do you have a link that you can just send to the rest of us for the
Oh, sure.
Wait,
How was
wait.
that? All right.
I don't have anything
All
to.
right.
Sorry, I never allowed.
Good evening, Tracy, stage here. I did have a couple of slides prepared for you, so unfortunately they're not going to be up. Just wanted to cover a couple of things. Key fobs, if anybody has any broken key fobs or wants to replace from the gray to the black, get with me. Got really good control over them, I believe. However, I do think that Don's recommendation of audit would be helpful. Gate control functions, I also have that capability through the Door King and the software, as far as gates concerned. And then, not to throw any snakes on the table, but I figured maybe next meeting we could possibly talk about the gate shack and the gate feasibility period. If we can't have fences in our yard, why do we have a fence at a gate that, gets hit and doesn't look good? And handing out clickers to everybody, and I issued 2 clickers, and that was a 2 hour fun time on Saturday for 2 clickers, $90 to us. Moving on, I did contact the County Sheriff's Department coordinator for neighborhood watches. Mrs. Bailey's gonna give us some new signs that'll get installed. There's a couple of locations with the Sheriff's Department signs out here for safe neighborhood. And then document review committee, sorry, again, you guys can't see the slides, but there's 8 members on there. What I'd like for the board, or ask the chair if we could identify a committee chair and appoint a board rep. Because the 3 of us can't be in a meeting discussing something that's gonna come before this board. So ultimately, on the board rep now? Okay, so who's gonna be the chair of the committee? We can select, somebody can select that? Okay, so we'll determine who's gonna kind of pick it up and move it on, so
that was
Understand.
over when- So you want to start with getting somebody to volunteer to be board chair. And then you're going to have a meeting?
right, yeah, I'll probably try to set up a meeting, and then at that meeting, we'll try to find one of the members to volunteer to be the chair of the committee. And then we
can move forward. All right. Next slide, the three items that we're going to concentrate on are the master declarations, covenants, the bylaws, and disposals and regulations, if everybody want to know. And then lastly, I kind of took it upon myself, this conversation in the last meeting about the road. I flew my drone over on Masters Boulevard and the depressions. Really not an address here, and I'm sorry, you guys can't see the photo I'm looking at, but it was up for discussion as far as repairing that road. When we looked at it again, it's a 48-inch concrete encased culvert. There's two depressions that are circled in this photo, kind of where you will notice if you're doing about 65 miles an hour on Masters, but if you're doing the speed limit, you'll probably be okay. Mike, I'm sure, is put on two wheels getting into his house. But that's honestly in good shape. It's a Papers Drive bridge. There's nothing failing with the culvert section or the inlet or the outfall. It's just settling on some pavers for the collection for the water that goes to the drain pipe. That's all I got.
Committees.
Okay, IT? Mike, you
Mike,
go?
here.
I'm here, I'm here.
There you are.
We didn't have a whole lot this month. We did get the tennis court account set up online, so they have access to both their accounts. The guard shack, there's battery backup that's failing for the UPS, for the security system cameras. And I don't think that would apply to the gate itself, but the cameras don't have battery backup anymore. So, and if we're going to replace that one, I didn't know if we might want one for the display. So we definitely need at least one.
Can we get one large enough to do both?
I suppose so. We just run an extension cord across the bar track.
Do you know how much that was?
I'll look. I don't know off the top of my head. It's been a while.
So, Mike, authorize the repair if you want. Well,
He can bring it back from February.
So the camera's not working right now?
It works. It's just if the power goes out, it's going to be down while the power's out.
And we don't have an ABC for it?
There is one, but it's failed. It beeps constantly when you're driving there. Battery in it dead.
What's that whistling in there? That buzzing?
From the cabinet?
Yes.
I think that's the security system thing. Maybe it needs a little more ventilation. I think that's all I have. And we're waiting for the gate network card to come in. So when that comes in, Tracy, maybe your job will be a little faster and easier because you can update it online as opposed to having to use that laptop.
It's right here.
Hopefully it'll be easy.
Did speak with Nate about the upgrade. He has the part. Just a matter of he's looking to schedule it in 2 weeks, trying to nail him down for an actual date.
I'll be around.
Okay.
That's it for me.
We didn't have much either. Everybody spent the money on Christmas, couldn't fix up their houses, I guess. We had one seawall repair, addendum, and I dropped the paperwork off on the table if anybody on the committee wanted to look at it. Architectural committee approved it, my notes on there, but it does require y'all's approval of our approval. Or y'all's disapproval of our approval. Rereading the stuff and put it through AI, it looks like if it's anything involving a seawall for one of the homes here, it does have to go to front. So we have, I just got a new request and I went and looked at it. And it's very extensive, but it's really gonna be just replacing the wall that blew out. You know, they're not doing anything new, but we'll look at it, we'll vote on it, and then I'll bring it I'll send it to y'all so I don't have to wait till February for y'all's opportunity to look at it online. Right? And we have a volunteer to fill in our 5th slot that Yogi Brown vacated last month. And that's Charlotte Boyd. Is that right?
Yeah.
Boyd, right? Okay. And so we're hoping that y'all will approve adding her to our committee. And we'll be back at 5.
She's got her pulse, right? Well, she's got her pulse. If she wants, comes to me. Yes. That was for that job. They got permission to park there. Okay. So, make a motion to approve Charlotte for the, or second. All those in favor? Okay. You're in.
Pete, you want to clarify all that? Because I forgot, a lot of people have been asking about
Okay,
dirt.
so we've seen a lot of dirt get dumped on the Reach property, and everybody was like, what's going on, what's going on? We haven't heard anything, I haven't, from them. They went back to redo the plans and stuff, we haven't heard anything, resubmitted. But that was all a deal they made to do the house over here, Bob. I mean,
Bob's mom.
yeah, his mom lives next to Freddie Shin,
Yeah.
and they were doing the seawall, so that's what they were doing over there. So they were hauling all that
Yeah,
dirt.
they were using the same contractor that Clark dealt with, and they asked Clark, could we just dump the stuff here to get it
Use it,
over there? And he
yeah.
said, sure.
Okay.
So
But
they're,
a lot of people
they're
like-
starting on the replacement as soon as they get okay to do it.
Yeah, apparently they didn't know the architectural standard
Yeah.
process.
Yeah.
And so they started and then we had to ask questions, but, they got it all straightened out. Okay, next, we're gonna go to beautification. Okay, I do know, Brenda, you want to do your talking?
First
Um,
thing I would say about Brenda is I apparently failed to thank her for the incredible job last month with the election. So I apologize, that was on me. I gave a lot of props to a lot of people and I didn't give them to you for what you did, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Brenda. And she submitted all the documents from the election that needs to have a few things added into it that probably Don had, some of the tallies and stuff like that. So that'll complete the whole folder that we need to keep that in the file. Okay, beautification, we brought up at the meeting last December, but it was a non-working meeting, as we were told, so we didn't vote on anything. But Brenda and her group had worked through repainting the signs for the entire complex, and she had 3 quotes on getting them repainted and came up with one that's the best cost with the best provider, and we'll get it done in a timely manner. And so at the December meeting, we would have had a motion to approve that and move forward so she could do that, but we didn't do that. No.
Got enough jobs.
It's under beautification. Okay, so, anyway, that's a motion that we're gonna talk about. Brenda, you wanna add anything on that or anything else on beautification?
Well, really just that we had 3 quotes. One was for $3,300 and $3,700 if you counted the gatehouse and surrounding curb, which is in terrible shape. Which was excessive, and it was by a painting company with 2 guys that wrote out their contract and sent it to me via email. And the second one was inappropriate, but I got it anyway. It was $2,500 it was so inappropriate of the person, and I didn't trust them, and I ditched it. So the third, we have from Azar, which is $2,000. And it is very complete. There's a lot of preparation, and there's a lot of fixing up of some signs also. So there really is a lot of work, and he's doing it for $2,000, which I think is low, but very good job. So that's what I'm going to discuss, and I would like an approval.
So the three offers were 2,000, 2,500, and 35.
Was 32, 25, and 2,000.
So the lowest bid was from Michael Azar.
Yes, sir.
I don't think we need to talk about this. Motion to approve, seconded, all in favor?
I think we gotta also include all the material from Mike too. It's gonna be a lot more than $2,000.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be, came in around 600.
Man needs materials, he needs paint, he needs everything.
Between 500 and 600.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we should probably.
And I have a list of that, and that's all online.
That's in the budget.
She's got it.
Yeah, you can
Okay,
look it
we
up
have a
online.
presentation budget, right? I think we have some on.
Put it in the,
We have, there's the entry gate, guardhouse security gate. That's just for services. There's the general repairs for $6,000 is what I believe.
that's what you said when I brought up having beautification having their own budget line, such as the street.
But outside of that, so we have that $6,000 in general repairs, which is what we're expecting for repair sign, repaint signs, potential light pole replacement, and other things. So look at the notes for the budget.
Okay, so we voted on it? Everybody voted?
Yeah.
Great. Thanks. Anything else, Brenda?
No, that's all.
Okay, quick on the appeals. I talked to the chairman of appeals. Since nobody has appealed anything, he hasn't done anything. So all's good in appeal for who's next?
Quick alibi, we do need a voting option for the banking, which we started to get into, but we got sidetracked. We have to have a vote for what members of the board are going to have access to our money market and operating checking accounts. Currently, I'm the only one on the account.
We have to have two.
Suggest minimum of two, probably would be a good idea to have a third, but probably want to limit it to that.
I nominate the president.
Well, we talked about I'd be his second, and we have to get it in the minutes, so then we can get it to the bank. So once we have the minutes that says, here's who has authority for signing check or whatever, what did she wanted to say?
She just needs the minutes to show that it was voted upon and approved for access to the accounts. For the members that are looking to have access to the accounts, they just need to fill out these forms, or fill out this one-page form.
I didn't hear
And
anything about it. I reject it. Okay, so we vote, I'll be the number two. Is that which one?
we have
You
one.
want three?
I would be the one, you'd be the two, you'd be the three.
Sam, Pete, and
Make a motion for a second, third,
One, two, three.
second. All in favor?
You, in the minutes, so lady back. Okay. Anything else? Did we miss anybody? Miss any committee? Okay. 10 February. We can
267.
What did you need, approval for? You said you needed a board approval for a seawall?
There it is, right there.
We approved it.
No, we did not vote on
I'm
the
sorry, this is my approval. So I'm gonna,
You have to renege.
I'm gonna abstain, or,
Abstain.
abstain.
Is this for you?
Yes.
What do you do? Move we approve.
Let's read some.
What do you approve?
20-foot wall all around the property. With a fence.
Okay, make a motion to pass?
Second.
Just follow the architectural standards committee.
Oh, yeah, they
All
are.
the standards, good. I'm good as long as he said we're good.
Well, I guess my question is gonna be, considering the issues with seawalls at other locations, is this going to match the seawalls either on adjacent sides of the house?
Exactly. On one side, where, on the other side, there isn't one.
But you have a waiver from that neighbor.
Yeah. The neighbors on either side both said we're good with this.
You said that in an email?
Yeah. Should be last
Is there a fence
page.
in there too?
No, 10 foot,
Then
no fences.
you can vote on the fence if you want.
Because of the height and the county code, there is a fence.
Safety
I'm
requirements.
talking about for the whole property boundary.
Well, we haven't gotten in front of it.
Oh.
When you get the documents over,
Oh.
So did we vote, everybody voted on it? Did
No, we didn't.
Call for question?
You gotta-
Make a motion.
Make a motion to pass, Sam wall improvement.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Now we vote.
And I abstain.
That's mine.
Anything else?
No?
Can I repeat my thing for, last time?
It was brought up, and I made a note here, to talk to Tracy about it. There was a sign that disappeared that said no outlet, and we need to.
It says dead end.
Dead end.
It's not by the-
Um,
Let me just bring up one thing. It was put in because of the statute.
What's
It
that?
said, Florida Highway Patrol Highway Sign Statute for private and public roads. And it says if a road has no outlet, you have to put a dead end sign right at the street sign before it goes down there. And you're also supposed to put a thing that says, turn around here, because there's no turnaround. Every other street in this subdivision has a turnaround, except for Choctaw Lane. So you have to put it there, that's why they put there. The no outlet sign way up by the tennis court, not even mentioned. There have been two of them put up, and two of them have been stolen.
Says
And I think
left.
about stolen. So, according to the statute, you have to put it at the intersection closest to where the dead end is, which is East Lake Drive. You need to replace it. And anybody who steals it, because it has on the back of it, the last two did, property of Shalimar Point Owners Association. That means they stole the sign, and they could be prosecuted if they're ever caught.
You got your cameras directed there to.
Yep, there's a camera that pictures it, but unfortunately, it only has a 30-day window.
Okay, and that was one of the things we talked to Tracy about, code enforcement, he's brand new on this, so
That's
just,
not code enforcement.
What is it then?
That is just called the signage out here. Directional signage, that's not code enforcement.
he's
Somebody
also
stole the
doing the
sign,
yards.
and you have to replace that with.
He's using the grounds and everything, that's where it's gonna fall under. So let us
But
get
the
it
board has to
organized.
vote on it to approve the five new
I'm gonna
signs.
investigate this.
Yeah, we're not ready to vote. We're gonna go look, there's also a sign,
It says no out.
30, right down below, it says stop, turn around.
But that's not a sign that meets the standard for the state, which has. to
Okay,
be-
so that sign's no good. We'll check it out. Maybe that sign needs to go away, and we put one there that says turn around.
Where else? It has to be. at the
In your
road.
yard, where else?
No, it has to be at the intersection of the road. Here, when I read it to you.
What
No, no,
statute are you
you
reading?
need to read. We'll get it.
Hey, Dick, our roads don't meet standards either.
That's okay.
No.
That was the developer in the town, the signs are.
So it wasn't forgotten, it was in our notes, I'm talking to Tracy about it, he's gonna look into it, and we'll take it from there. We'll report on it at the next meeting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tracy will get with you, you can show that to him and he'll look into it. Bring it back to us next month.
Oh, we didn't say anything about the social committee. Kelly?
We don't have anything yet. We're gonna do quarterly events for the SPOA, but right now I'm just kind of mirroring and advertising the events that the golf course is doing. So they've got a bingo night coming up, a Super Bowl party where they're doing chili cook-off. We're posting all of their events right now, just because we were gonna do quarterly events for SPOA only.
I really like the flyer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
nice
just trying to
one.
spread that out.
And make sure you give him the mic so we have a
I will, yes, sir.
All right,
And
right.
Mike,
Okay.
appreciate the signage at the gate.
Yes, sir.
It's really nice when you pull up and it's, you know, just, it engages you when you do it. It reminds people the tennis court, golf. There's, you know, interesting things being posted, so thank you. I think you appreciate it.
Glad to do it, thank you.
Well, and as more and more get used to it, we'll see more and more things on it. Like the tennis court, they put things on there, the golf course, everything. So,
Any otherwise, save rounds? Make a recommendation. Commissioners, meetings closed.
Stacy.